It's so great to be here with you today and to share with you one of the most awesome regions that we take people to by bicycle, and that is Tuscany. Um, this world famous region does not disappoint. This trip is for guests who want fresh, simple taste of Tuscany, enjoy bistros in small, picturesque towns. And of course, this trip is for lovers of wine. I also want to mention dietary restrictions are easily accommodated on this trip. This region is for famous small wine villages of Castellina, Rada, and Montalcino. Also, who knows, you may see a wild boar running around. Perhaps you might be there in time to go truffling. And there is always outstanding coffee, no matter where you are. This level 3 trip brings you an average of 30 miles of riding per day and just over 2,600 feet of climbing. As with other trips, you have the option to ride as much or as little as you want each day. For our guests looking to challenge their legs, we have longer options. For an example, on day 3, you'll have an opportunity to add an extra spin through the wine country and to top off your ride with just under 80 miles and just over 4,500 feet of climbing if you choose. So for our avid and active cyclists out there, we definitely have options for you. The terrain in this region is hilly with quiet, narrow, winding roads, and many of our towns sit atop hills. So if you want to earn a few extra climbs to have a few extra bottles of wine in your belly for that night, we have options for you. And our e-bikers, well, we have e-bikes on this trip, so you are definitely taken care of. What's included in this trip? Well, Trek Travel, we definitely include more. Your hotel is included, guides are included, daily breakfast, 3 lunches, 3 dinners, 2 social hours, a bike with a Garmin, and 3 route options each day. And what's not included on this trip? Well, you'll be responsible for your arrangements getting to and from the trip. Trek Travel is proud to partner with a travel service provider, and we can connect you, if you'd like, with assistance with transportation. Also, some meals on this trip are not included, and this is our time where Trek Travel, we invite you to explore the local cuisine at your leisure for some meals, along with gratuities for your guides are also not included, and we definitely thank you in advance. Now, I expect you have some questions about getting to and from your Tuscany trip start. First, let's talk logistics. This map is of the trip. And as you can see, the dotted blue line represents the places in Italy we will take you. Our meeting spot for this trip, the place where we pick you up on day 1 and drop you off on day 6, is Hotel Montebello, which is in Florence. We recommend flying into Florence and grabbing a taxi to the trip hotel. Or you can fly into Rome or Milan and take a train or flight from there to Florence. It's definitely up to you. Now, we're going to talk about Tuscany in a moment, but first, let's test your knowledge. Which of the following below figures is not from Tuscany? A, Pinocchio, B, Marco Polo, C, Michelangelo, D, Da Vinci, or E, Galileo? And I'll give you a few moments to type in your answer. And the answer is B. Marco Polo is from Venice, not from Tuscany. All of the other amazing historical figures, both real and fictional, are originally from Tuscany. So it's a one-of-a-kind place for sure. Weather. The high temperatures range as high as the 80s, and low temperatures each day are usually in the 60s. It's a fabulous destination for cycling, and you will definitely understand why. And this is one reason we highly recommend and encourage that you bring layers, both for on the bike and off the bike. So, as we begin, the stunning scenery, the exquisite food, Italian coffee and gelato, and a culture that welcomes cyclists from across the globe. As we delve into the week of cycling in Tuscany, I am sure you too will fall in love with this region as I have. So on day one, you'll meet your companions for your cycling trip in Florence, and then take a shuttle to the heart of the Chianti region. We will gather at a little trattoria, and here you will get to meet your guides and fellow guests, and we'll discuss the week ahead while sharing delicious handmade pizza. After lunch, we'll fit you to your bike for the week, discuss safety, and learn firsthand why cycling in the countryside is awesome. Today's ride is a beautiful loop through the vine-covered slopes and small quaint villages of Chianti. It's also a perfect spin to welcome us to cycling in Tuscany. The narrow Tuscan roads weave through the hills and countrysides with little to no shoulder. But don't worry, traffic is light, and today is a great day to experience Italians' love and respect for cyclists. Italian drivers love to see cyclists and will generally give you a little friendly toot before overtaking you. All along the route, your guides will be with you, sharing tips or to make any adjustments needed to make sure the bike is fit perfectly for you. Today's first ride finishes at our hotel, Il Borgio di Vicine. Il Borgio di Vicine is a 13th century Etruscan village which has been transformed into this charming and elegant hotel. After a smooth check-in process, you will be welcomed into your room. The rooms have been lovingly created with the original houses of the medieval hamlet. This hotel boasts its own wine cellar and restaurant, which is pretty darn awesome. And tonight, we'll gather on the hotel terrace to discuss the week ahead over the first Tuscan feast, perfectly paired with, if you can believe it, locally and regional wines of the Chianti region. On day two, with the wind blowing in our hair, the vines will slowly give way to shady chestnut trees, and this landscape subtly changes as we descend to our first stop, Castello di Broglio and its famous Eroica Cafe. The Eroica Cafe is named after the famous cycling race born in this region. Every fall, cyclists from around the world gather in Gaol and Chianti to pay tribute to cycling's past. Vintage bicycles, clothes, and gear must be worn and used to participate in this original gravel classic. Those in need of a coffee, well, you are in luck. The cafe is home to great espresso and cool cycling memorabilia, so it's definitely worth a stop. Our loop around Chianti will finish in Rada at Bar Dante. Here you will meet some great friends of ours, Carolyn and Fabrizio, who pride themselves on serving the best bruschetta in Chianti. Their patio is a perfect place to watch the world go by over lunch and a glass of wine, or an Aperol Spritz, should you choose. After lunch, you can explore the quaint town of Rada with its great shopping. Here, you can meet a good friend of ours, Gianni, and buy a cool local Tuscany cycling jersey. Perhaps you want to take some wine or olive oil home with you? Well, Fabrizio also has his own wine bar, so you can get some good stuff there. For those looking for more miles, well, you are in luck because today we can jump back on the bikes and cycle to the tiny village of Lucarelli. Here, you can join locals for the ritual of a mid-afternoon espresso before heading back to our hotel to relax and sit by and enjoy life at the pool. Tonight is a perfect time to explore Castellina and Chianti. You can wander the medieval cobblestone streets before discovering Via della Volta. It's an impressive historic underground tunnel that is now a fascinating walkway filled with artisan boutiques and restaurants. And if you want, enjoy dinner either on the piazza or in the Volta. And you are definitely in store for an awesome romantic evening if that's what you want. Or perhaps you just want to watch the world go by. Anyway, it's up for you to decide. This morning, you're going to have an awesome cappuccino or If you have more than one, like I like to, cappuccini. And now you're ready to enjoy the views of Sienna's towers dotting the skyline. In the distance, ancient towers peek out amid the rolling vine covered hills. These towers used to showcase the wealth of this region as they were used to allow their colorful tapestries to hang and dry. Perched on top of hilltop and dominated by 14 dramatic towers, Monteregione welcomes us just around lunchtime. Take your pick of the many alfresco options lining the main piazza. After lunch, spend time exploring the winding cobblestone streets of this ancient city. If you would like to cycle more, the countryside awaits for an exhilarating loop as we make our way back to Castellana and Chianti. Tonight is one of my favorite things to do, and I'm sure if you're a pizza lover, you will enjoy it too. Tonight, we're going to gather for a pizza making session at our hotel. The original wood-fired oven of our hotel is still functioning, and if you want to take any guess of the age, I'll give you a moment to think about it. Okay, see if you're close. This is a self-test for you, but our oven that we're going to be baking our pizza from is just over 700 years old. So imagine that. You're baking pizza that you are being guided by the pizza master at our hotel, drinking local Chianti wine, and celebrating an awesome day with your friends. So after you enjoy the fruits of your labor, the rest of the evening is yours to decide. Perhaps you want to go to bed and get ready for the next day, or if you want to go out and check out the scene on the town, it's up to you to decide. Day 4. Today, we're going to leave the wooded forests and vines of the Chianti behind and cycle in the hills of Val d'Orcia. Today, we experience the quintessential images of Tuscany. Picture this: ancient farmhouses, winding gravel roads lined with cypress trees. This is the Tuscany experience that you have been dreaming of. Our lunch location today is the tiny town of Montisi in the heart of Val d'Orcia. Our favorite restaurant of this region is run by a gentleman, and it's called Da Roberto. And if you can guess it, the chef owner, Roberto, is a dedicated follower of the slow food movement and only serves the best seasonal dishes from local farms. At this point, your writing for the day is done, and you can relax and enjoy lunch as a true Italian. The hours will slowly fly by as we enjoy all the local and fresh specialities that Da Roberto puts on the table, along with, as you guessed it, fantastic Tuscan wine. Tonight, we have a chance to get settled into our second home of the trip, Palazzo del Capitano. This historic 15th century palazzo is nestled in the heart of the charming village of San Quirico di Orcio and boasts its own traditional trattoria, an indulgent spa, tranquil gardens, and a pool. This place is a perfect mix of modern luxury and rich history. The morning of day 5, this ride carries us over rolling hills and past rows of cypress trees. Our first stop is a tiny Roman spa town, Bagno Vigioni, known for its sulfurous hot springs, where we encourage you to take off your cycling shoes and socks and soak your feet. After a quick soak, your body is ready for an espresso on the piazza before we continue on your way. Our lunch destination is the walled village of Montalcino. This 14th century fortress and steep cobblestone streets dominate the surrounding countryside. Here we'll discover the delights of Brunello wine, one of the finest Italian varietals, together with lunch at a local trattoria. After lunch, the choice is yours. Continue cycling along the winding roads, or reward yourself with a shuttle and more time to relax back at the hotel. Our final dinner takes place at a Trek travel favorite in the heart of San Quirico. Here we'll enjoy a selection of traditional dishes paired with local wines. At dinner, we'll toast to a week of great riding, warm fellowship, phenomenal food, and a cycling vacation of a lifetime. My heart is now dreaming of heading back to Tuscany, and I bet yours is too. And now back to you guys.